Reality is a full-on simulation. Anyone who thinks they're their name is deep into the simulation. They're not going to understand what I'm saying. They're ignorant. They're in an ignorant frequency. Okay, that word is neutral, but it is what it is. It's ignorance. So, it's important to recognize this. It's important to recognize deeply, fully, like you and God, a majority level of understanding that this is a simulation. That beyond the words that you use, you know what's going on. And for me to illustrate what is going on with words, I could say it's a simulation of crystallized frequency of ones and zeros of a necessary duality. But even within your own form, you recognize that it is made up of this simulation and therefore a part of this simulation. So even the mind, all of it is a part of the simulation. So therefore, God, you're like, there's you, there's the God that's you, and then there's the God that is controlling the puppet. Okay, God is playing as the puppet and the puppet master. Okay, there's your life, there's your little free will, there's your little illusion of free will, and then there's the puppet master. Then there's the truth of nature that's actually going to go happen. So this whole thing is just a show. It's just a simulation. It's just an emulation. It's just zeros and ones and crystallized frequency. It is just that. And all the work you do, all this, all that, it's so that you can be in this. It is all a simulation. All of it. The whole concept and realm of the mind, everything that has come from this realm is of this realm. So when you die, you're gonna pull off a VR headset. You're gonna pull it off. It goes so far beyond the comprehension that this human brain can understand. It's just okay. So when I get on here and say life is a simulation, you'll have those who are the simulation, who live in the simulation, who live in ignorance. They're gonna be like, oh, this, that, the other thing. It's like, oh, what are you talking about? And you don't get mad at them. You see them. They're like, okay, they're just fucking ignorant. They're just ignorant. They live in the world. That's fine. That's fine. They're there to run home this truth because they're not thinking for themselves. They live in ignorance. They live in the world. They live in the world, and we're talking about the simplicity that creates all complexity, duality. We're talking about how this is a realm, how this is a simulation. So the ones and zeros of the simulation, they're gonna be like, what are you talking about? I was born. I go to fucking, McDonald's, like. So I go Christmas shopping, right? Because, like, do you ever go out, see the people who go out Christmas shopping? Or the people who go to McDonald's? They're not thinking. They're doing what they think they're supposed to do because of capitalism, because of the brainwashing that they've gotten from their environment. They're not real. They're not real at all. They're fake. They're full fake. And when they're tested, when their contradiction is tested, when they hear some truth like this is a simulation, they don't think to ask themselves, they immediately, something's awakened a little tiny bit, and then they immediately shut it down with ignorance and the world. And they're like, oh, this, that. You try and talk to them about it, they're going to try and overpower you with their words. They might try and overpower you physically. Not going to fucking work. They don't want to face the truth, so they'll try and yell over you. They'll try and do anything that they can to avoid looking at the truth. Avoid the realization that this is in fact a simulation, and to look past the fear of death, because that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing here. Oh man, I'm gonna die. Oh no. Like, come on. It's like, it's not their fault, but it's like, come on. They make it fun. The ignorant, the collective, they make it fun because it's like they, they think they're their name. They think they can die. It's just it's It's all here for itself. It's all here to reinforce itself. Why am I like you're gonna die, right? Because then I have to like there's something here because every level exists. There's like there's like a thing that's like manifesting and affirming this into reality through a foundation. Through a foundation. This isn't like you get to this point by having a foundation. You don't just make it up. Okay. That's what gets people. They get mad. They get mad. They get mad. They get angry when you're really standing on something because they're not. And they get mad. But this is built on reality. This is built on reality. Go look at quantum physics. This is just I'm not here to argue about it. Okay. It is true. It is what it is. We'll say when you die, think of life right now, right? Okay. There's no life. There's nothing. It's everything that comes from this is reality, right? So when you die, where the mind goes, the universe goes. It all dissolves. It all comes back to one. It all comes back to oneness. And we've explained before that oneness is non-existence and it is existence because there's nothing there to prove anything. Because it doesn't need to prove anything. It doesn't need to prove it exists. Okay. That coin, the coin of good and evil, of alive and dead, that coin. You're no longer looking at the coin, you are the coin. All right. So the water droplet comes back to the waters. Okay. So ignorance can only piss you off for so long before you realize it's like you just start like laughing at them. It's like, what are you doing? What they have this same thing you have going on, but they're standing on nothing. They have the same confidence you have while standing on something, but they're standing on nothing. It's like, wow. It's like you really believe it because like there's something that doesn't want to look at the truth, so your brain folds over a contradiction. And that further strengthens the truth you're standing on. God. Like, Jesus. I hope like I hope I get like a comment. It's like something. Cause you respond and they don't respond back. It's a simulation though. They don't respond back because they either so deep into their ignorance that they don't like think they need to justify themselves, and also that, and on a deeper level, they know I'm fucking right. They know I'm not. It's not me. They know I'm pointing to truth, so they don't really want to come back and like stand on something because they know they're not standing on something. So they'll pretend like, oh, I don't need to prove myself, but like they're just trying to avoid the truth. So if you hear something from someone and all they can do is call you names and be a nasty creature, they're standing on nothing. Nothing. They can't articulate what is going on based on reality. They're living in fantasy land, and you've broken their CPU. So there's no real getting to them. They're just going to keep being broken and ignorant. Because you can't change someone's IQ more than 2 points. You can't be around someone who has a different IQ within 15 points. It doesn't work. They're just too stupid. And you see that they're too stupid. You see where they're capped out. You see the CPU limitations, and it's like, oh, ew. Get away from me. Okay? So, it's not you get away from me, but it's like you vibrate out of that existence. You don't put up with that because they, even like I just said, they don't stand on anything. And if you're standing on something, it makes them existentially, intolerably, arrogantly, and ignorantly, undeniably angry on a deep, unconscious level, because they know they're not standing on anything, and they know you are, and they don't like it, because they're built on contradiction, and you're not. And they, wow, can't take it. Can't take it. Like, the CPU gets destroyed. It breaks. They may try and attack you. Like, I hope to God that never happens. But they'll try and talk over you, yell over you, bring you to court, they'll try in vain, because they're trying to save a concept that does not work. They're trying to save a ignorant, false ideology that can't be saved, because it's built on ignorance, and reality is a number line between 0 and 1, ignorance and awareness. So they can't do anything except realize how stupid they are. And in the process of trying, they get worse. They get worse. In the process of trying to prove themselves, they get worse, because they're proving themselves wrong, and they're seeing it, and they're seeing you seeing it, and they go fucking insane, because this current time history is insane. This is the Satan's little season. This is the land of insanity. This is the land of ignorance. So you're navigating through uncharted territory as an aware being. You're navigating through a territory where you want to have a strap. You want to know how to fight. You want to know how to hold yourself. But all these things come from awareness. None of them come from none of them come from what we've been talking about, the contradiction and the concept and the ignorance. It all comes from a place of authenticity. So you're walking around like you could destroy a human being with your bare hands, because you can, and it's not because you're trying to either, because that's how you find out. You see, you figure out naturally that's what that looks like, and that's why that is the way it is, and that's why other people pretend to look like that, because of how the confidence, the authenticity actually forces out a posture such as this, instead of pretending to be authentic. You find out authentically why people stand like that, why people look like that. You find that out authentically, instead of trying to skip to make people scared of you walking or looking a certain way. That gets the opposite effect. It might fucking work on someone who's on a more ignorant level than you, but it's not going to work on someone who's on a more authentic level than you. If someone's authentic and there's an ignorance, the authentic person's going to, I've been there. Because they know they're on something, they're on a foundation of authenticity. So it's like, oh, I've been there. I can see that. I can see that lower frequency. Oh, yeah. So you start to find things out like that. Like, oh, walking confidently comes from the authentic understanding of the capabilities that you have, rather than an inauthentic, ignorant, insecure concept of what they're trying to portray and project. See, now there's no need for projection. Now there's just, you're fucking real. Now you're fucking real. Now you can see where people start to get mad, because they don't want to be real. They just want to look real. They don't want to be fucking real. They just want to look real. So that's where you see contradiction. That's where you see people start not like you. They don't like themselves. They see the truth in you, and they're like, fuck. Like, fuck. Oh, shit. I've been caught out. But they're catching themselves up because they see an authentic frequency, and that pulses right back to how fake they are. And they know how fake they are, so they already know. So then they can try and project all they want, but truth doesn't care. They know. They can, because they default back to trying to make you feel how they want you to feel about them. But it doesn't work, because you already know what they are. They can say whatever they want in reality. That's why you don't trust the world, you trust God, because guess what? The truth does not care at all what a man or woman thinks, what a man thinks. Okay? They don't care. The truth doesn't care. It doesn't matter. God doesn't care about the world. The world is the world. God knows truth. God is truth. So God is all that is. We're not going to get into that, but it's not like someone outside of you. Okay, so but God is truth. God is the truth of existence, of the truth of being of existence is God. So therefore, truth equals God. Okay, and ignorance equals illusion. Ignorance equals the world. Okay, so they're going to try and project into the world, but they're going to fail because they are inauthentic and they don't stand on anything. So this is what happens. This is what it looks like when someone makes themselves look stupid. They're trying to prove themselves right, when in essence, all they're doing is proving themselves wrong, because in essence, their philosophy, their whatever they're standing on is inauthentic and ignorant. Ignorant. They don't have awareness, they have ignorance. They're not authentic, they're inauthentic. It's a number line of 0 and 1, ignorance and awareness. And it's spectrum of all levels of subtlety. But, if there's a higher frequency and then there's a lower frequency, then the higher frequency is going to be like, I can see through that. Okay, what is higher frequency? More authentic, more truth, more standing on real. What is lower frequency? Concept, illusion, evil. What is evil? Concept and illusion. They're trying to fake it. Lies. Okay, lies. Nah, that don't work. That don't work, boy. That don't work. That don't work out here. That don't work out here. That don't work out here. Okay, that don't work out here. If it works on you, that don't work out here. Okay, it works. You can only be ignorant to an ignorant person because you both live in ignorance and you're both fucking stupid. If even one authentic person comes into that group, they're going to leave. It's simple. And then out of the two who were originally there, whoever's on a little higher frequency will be like, oh, he must have left. Depending, they'll either try and project on the other person or they'll realize how stupid they both are and grow. But the reality is, one authentic frequency comes into two inauthentic frequencies. One of the two inauthentic frequencies is going to be on a higher frequency than the other, and they're going to fucking be like, oh. So whenever a positive frequency is introduced, no matter what it looks like, no matter how it seems, it has always a positive effect because it's on the number line of ignorance and awareness. It's always a positive effect because it's always going to be a high frequency, low frequency, and a spike up to the high frequency a little bit because it's a higher frequency. And it's going to go slightly upwards on the number line, ever so slightly. No, it doesn't matter what it looks like. On the number line of frequency, it is a positive effect. So, that's that. I mean, reality is a simulation.